Okay, Scott Dub Stevenson going to show you some application of pursuit curves in BFM. Basic fighter maneuvers is what BFM stands for. I'm going to show you lead pursuit, lag pursuit, peer pursuit, show you how to use the use of your views and your lift vector to apply those pursuit curves to solve for angle off of the bandit, okay, aspect angle, and closure, which are all the problems that you're dealt with when you're trying to get behind a guy and line yourself up for a gunshot. Three things you need for a gunshot. You need to be in range. That makes sense. Gun's got to be able to go that far. You have to be in the plane of motion, and that's a hard one to imagine. So if the turning flat, if you can imagine a car on the road, you're always in the same plane of motion because you're both on the same road. Well, in the air, you're not. So if he's turning in a plane of motion, you need to be intersecting that plane of motion with your bullets when you shoot. And then you have to be in lead. And how much lead is the hard part to solve? The correct answer is 1 bullet time of flight. And that, of course, is distance dependent. So if you have too much lead, you can always relax the G and let the bullets go on the target. If you don't have enough lead, you may not have the option to pull more G to get the bullets on the target. So we'll talk about that as we fly. I've got a AI up waiting for me. I'm going to roll in the fighter pits here in my 38L and go fight them. I fly with the HUD up. It gives me everything that I need instrument-wise. I also have the slip indicator, which is the little bar you'll see it bouncing across my gun sight left to right. That tells me how much slip I have. Obviously, when you're flying, you have a feel for this, and in the game, sometimes it's hard to see, although you can see the ball and needle in the middle of the screen at the bottom, and that moves accordingly as well. Alright, the bandit is flying the other way. As soon as I get within his trigger range, he'll come hot on me. Things to watch is, what is his initial move? Is he coming right at me? Is he coming for a head-on attack, which is common? And my job is to defeat that and get behind him and solve the problems of angle off and aspect angle so I can shoot him. In the meantime, he's going to be doing his best to not let me shoot him. Okay, so I get a Zeke now. Different fight. He's more maneuverable than me, so I'm going to get airspeed. I'm going to be fast, and I'm going to zoom and try to make him climb to me. What I have to be careful of as I close with him is, in the arenas, the guys will dive to meet you head on. And that's a bad thing. So he went nose low, that's good. I'm just going to zoom. Notice I'm looking at him. Now I have to assess whether or not I think he can get to me. If I go to big boost on this, I have opening, so I'm going to come back out. And I'm going to start an easy right-hand turn. Why right? Because I don't have torque to fight with counter-rotating props in the 38. He's single engine. He's got a fight torque. Alright, and I'm going to just fly over the top of him. So now he has to turn and climb, which should stall him out. One notch of flaps. Ups my turn. Back into big boost because he's a Zeke and he's climbing like a banshee. Alright, you can see now his nose just dropped. Give him a roll, put my lift vector on him. Alright, so he doesn't have very much speed, but he just got some right there in an extension. We're gonna meet 180 out again. I gotta watch the head-on attack. I'm going nose high to avoid his guns. And then this, I'm gonna extend out. So he rolls out behind me. D6, pretty much out of his effective gun range. And what I'm gonna do is use his weaknesses, which is his ability to roll and turn at speed against him. Okay, he's fast, so I'm going up. And I'm going to try to use this against him. Knowing that he's fast. Okay, he just bled off all of his speed and over the top. It's actually good for him because he's much more maneuverable, slow speed right here than I am. I need to leave the fight. Dump the nose, big boost. Find him. Make sure I'm not in his gun range. You can see though this has cost me in altitude hugely. I'm down low. But I do have range. And he took too big of a bite. And impacted the hill. So you got to keep track of where you're flying when you're looking. Okay, this will be another good fight. K-84, high power, fast, maneuverable, hard hitter. I'm at 100% on the engines. That's cooling them actually because it's not at military, it's unboosted. You can see the temperature dropping down. And I got to keep an eye on that as I fight. I'm trying to get some airspeed back here. So I'm going to fight him fast, in that I want him to commit his nose down right here, avoid the head-on attack, watch him, okay, see he's too fast, now he's trying to turn. Let's see if I can get a shot on him. Bad aiming on my part, one notch of flaps to help my nose rate, 38's a bigger, heavier plane, has maneuver flaps, fouler. Alright, so I got him leaking, but he's not really hurt. And now I've got to watch his guns coming around. Trying to get some airspeed here. Alright, so I'm turning with him. My lift vector is on him right now. I'm going to put it in lead so I predict where he goes. We're in a right-hand turning fight. That's good for me. And I'm not sure why he rolled out, but he did, so I shot him. Okay, we'll do one more. Knowing what a 110 is, twin engine fighter like myself, designed as a bomber killer. It's not as maneuverable as a 38, but it packs a very hard punch. And for sake of time, I'm going to turn toward him. Although normally I would extend out away to force him to chase me down and lose some of that altitude and energy. Okay, so he's committed his nose down. I'm watching him, making sure I'm not going to hit the ground. Back to boost. Avoid his gun pass. Notice I have him centered up in the view. As far as the center line goes, I'm still a little bit in lead of him. I'm going to throw a notch of flaps. We're rolling basically in an oblique. I'm going to put more than lead, lift vector and lead. So you can see if I was to pull, my nose would go in lead. Oh yeah. He's got a tail gun. Forgot to mention that. So you have to be careful of that. F4U. Here's what I would do with an F4U with altitude. Turn away. He's chasing me, so now as he dives, he's going to hit his terminal speed. And once he hits his terminal speed, then all of the altitude that he loses after that point is altitude he'll never get back. So you can see he's closing pretty good on me. So what I'm trying to do is get his energy state, which is kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic is actual speed, potential is altitude, and make it more even. I'm not going to get it perfectly even. My guess is he's doing 400 right now, so he's got 60 knots more kinetic. Oh, he's slowing. Yeah, so it's probably close to 400. I'm going to brake early, right-hand turn. Again, right hand because I don't fight torque, he does. Watch his guns. So you can see how I will bleak out of this. I'm going to reverse because he's overshooting. One notch of flaps. Rolling to put left vector and lead. In this case, he's turning away instead of following me up. And now I'm going to predict where he's going to go. Get my nose there. Over the top is never good. Adages go up, blow up. And you see why. Is that what goes up must come down. And that's a intro to BFM, pursuit curve, energy level, in a nutshell.